Hi, this is Steve Gold for Real Time with Productronica. Joining me is Rich Heinz of Protean. Thank you very much for stopping in.
Good to see you again, Steve.
We're here at what is for many companies a huge marketing venue. So let's talk a little bit about B2B marketing strategies. Tell me about what's going on today.
One of the most interesting changes is this evolution in public relations, evolution in B2B communications with the adoption of social media tools. Really a completely new media age is coming up, and the opportunities for B2B operations to create new channels with which to build brands, to communicate with their customers is more than a passing little phenomenon, and it's a very adult and significant change.
You know, one of the interesting things that I've noticed is that even here at a venue like this, you could literally take the press out of the picture completely by, you know, if I'm the CEO of a company and I start tweeting, all of a sudden I'm going straight through PCB007 and right to the customer.
And there are rewards and there's risks with the fact that you've got an instantaneous communication. It's a different way in which people are discovering and reacting to news. So to get involved in it, there's a variety of different approaches. There are a variety of different channels. It might be blogging, it might be web applications, social media applications. But the key thing is it's not that you're doing this instead of what you used to do. And there's no either or in this. But what's exciting is that time, energy, and imagination are the most important ingredients. It's not about big budgets. It's not about money. You make a commitment, you need to stay with it. You know, the energy part, the content part is critical. And it's not just about volumes of followers in the kind of the way that people have thought of it based on news headlines. It might be the limit. It's the quality of the content. We know one software company that utilizes their key customers, and only their key customers become their social media followers, and they actually provide as much customer support solutions each day as their own in-house service teams do. So that's a completely different kind of a use. Establishing your technical capabilities, identifying your technical expertise by continuously blogging from a variety of sources in a company is another example. So it's really about creating a new communication channel and then filling that channel continuously with up-to-date information.
I want to ask you something. Your job is message. I know that, like with a blog, for example, if I'm managing a blog, I can have my blog writers come to me. I edit the blog, and it's put on my website. But with something like Twitter, is there a danger of somebody going rogue, going off message and really kind of destroying some of the work that we do?
It's high reward, high risk, and that's part of the challenge. And it's certainly something that will evolve the same way that email marketing, which was a phenomenon 10 years, 12 years ago, has evolved into certain patterns and controlled patterns in a lot of cases. So the equivalent of spamming, is the kind of thing that will occur and develop, and people will establish a feel for what works, what's well responded to. But again, it's content, and there's fabulous opportunity because it's not about big budgets. It's about time, energy, and imagination.
How about you might have that, and this. In our own company, we argue about is Facebook gonna be something that's a good B2B tool? Twitter, should we do it or not? What do you do to say to a client that's coming to you and saying, you know what, half of us want to do it, half of us don't?
You can first establish what you're trying to accomplish, and I think based on what you're trying to accomplish, the kind of message, the volume of message, one tool or another would make more sense. whether it's video content is critical to it or not, whether it's written word that's critical to it or not. You know, an up-to-date blog on your website is in this category of social media. We're talking about a different way in which people communicate with their customers and their customers back with them.
Is there sort of a wrap-up question? We're here at a trade show. I'd say the attendance on this side has been disappointing. On that side, maybe not so bad. We're on the PCB side. Do you see a time where this virtual trade show concept would actually supplant something like this that's bricks and mortar?
I think there's a format that again could be useful, but it's never going to be an either or. I think that the trade show, the face-to-face, will never go away. I think that this particular show is in a more of a latent transition than some others. That it's another regional show. I mean, that will be the case. It's certainly no longer one attended by North Americans or Asians. The East Bloc countries, it's an opportunity to have a top-rate trade show to come to visit. But the theme that we've been discussing now for a couple of years regarding the regionalization of events, is going to be faced by grand old Productronica as well.
I agree. I mean, it's never been more apparent than this year. I think I was speaking with somebody over at DEC, and they were saying, in years past, 70% of our visitors were German. And this year, I think, is even a higher degree of...
I would think so. And certainly the economy's got to have something to do with that as well. But it still seems a pretty healthy marketplace. And there's a lot of optimism about next year as well. Situations cycles that get the deeper, actually the longer they go in either direction, but the deeper they go, the more hesitancy there is to be optimistic about positive signs. And when things get going good, people run full speed into the wall because you're hesitant to predict a black lining in a silver cloud. So this one was pretty deep, unprecedented deep. Time-wise, hopefully it'll be quicker than the last.
Right.
But on the basis of how painful it was for a lot of companies, it's tough to be quickly optimistic. But most people I've talked to have a positive outlook for next year.
People starting to market again?
Well, the ones that didn't stop are already seeing the benefits of the visibility. And yes, people are becoming more interested in and more concerned that, hey, our message didn't get out. The ones who particularly invested in new product are the ones that are going to, I think, benefit the most.
Yeah, I mean, just as a consumer, take our industry out of it. I'm still hit with, I had less money to spend, but I was still hit with all those messages over the year that I couldn't spend the money. The companies that marketed to me are the ones that are getting my dollars right now.
And the companies that innovate and offer good experiences, Apple killed everybody. There's a company that's researched. People have spies to bribe factory workers about output, and they still missed by a mile their performances. So, here's something that people aspire to. This is not a product that makes sense on one level to be so successful in such a down economy.
Yeah.
So, innovate and offer a fabulous experience. You'll succeed.
Well, Rich, thanks very much.
Hey,
I
great to
appreciate you
see you
stopping
again.
by. Once again, you've been watching Rich Heimsch. He is with Protean. I'm Steve Gold for Real Time with Productronica. Thanks for watching.